Welcome to Mr. Benjamin's Math World. Today, we are going to show the multiplication of a polynomial times a monomial. A quick reminder, a monomial is an algebraic expression that contains only one term. A polynomial is an algebraic expression that contains more than one term. Let's identify them. This is our first multiplication. We are multiplying this monomial. This is only one term. 4ax to the second. There's no positive or negative sign between the terms of the element. So this is just one term. It's a monomial. On the other hand, the second term is a trinomial because it has three terms. 1, 2, and 3 terms. As you can see, the terms are separated by a positive sign. So this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3 terms. We are multiplying a monomial times a polynomial. Our first step should be to make sure that the polynomial is arranged in order. It means that the greatest exponent goes as the first term of the trinomial, and it goes in a descending order. So what I'm going to do is I'll just bring down the same monomial 4ax to the second times, and I'll put this one in order. So my first term will be the 1 to the second power because it's the greatest exponent. That's a 2 and that's a 1. So I'll bring down the 3x to the second. And the sign is also positive. It's right here. So this is a positive 3x to the second, same as this one. Our second term will be the x to the first, and I'll bring down the negative 6x, not forgetting to bring down the sign as well. So this is a negative 6x. And for last, I'll bring down the positive 7. Here is the multiplication. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to place the trinomial on top, and also I'll bring down the 4ax to the second. I'm showing the multiplication because now I'm going to multiply this monomial times each one of the terms in the polynomial. So I'll start by multiplying 4ax to the second times 3x to the second. First, I multiply the coefficients. I'm multiplying 4 times 3, which is 12. Positive times positive equals positive. And then I multiply ax to the second times x to the second. Since there's no a right here, so I'll just leave it for the last. And I'm going to multiply the x to the second times x to the second. Remember, when you multiply the variables, you do not multiply the exponents. You add them or subtract them. So this is 2 positive and 2 positive. I add them. 2 plus 2 is 4. So the exponent for the x will be to the 4th power, and then I'll just bring down the a. I already got my first result of the multiplication of this monomial times this term. Secondly, I'm going to multiply 4ax to the second times negative 6x. First, I multiply the coefficients, 4 times 6, and also I multiply the signs. This is positive times negative equals to negative. 4 times 6 is 24. And then I multiply ax to the second times x. The x has a 2, and this one has a 1. When I multiply, I add the exponents. I add them because this is a positive sign plus 2, and this is a positive 1. The two numbers have the same sign, so I add the numbers and I copy the same sign. So I'm adding 2 plus 1. This is x to the third, and then I'll bring down the a again. 4ax to the second times negative 6x equals to negative 24, x to the third, a. And for last, I'll multiply this monomial times the last term. Multiply the signs first. positive times positive equals to positive. Then I multiply the coefficients. It's 4 times 7 equals 28. And then the 7 has no variable, so what I have to do is just bring down the a x to the second. I'll put the x to the second first in order to keep it the same order. And then I'll see if the result is organized. This is the x to the fourth power, x to the third power, and x to the second power. So this result is in order, it's in a descending order. This is the result for this multiplication of this monomial times a polynomial. Our second exercise also multiplies a polynomial times a monomial. First, we check if the polynomial is in order. Let's take a look at the exponents for the x. This is x to the fourth. That's a 4, 3, 2, 1. So it is in order. It's in descending order. It's in order. So I'll just bring down the whole polynomial. X to the fourth minus 6, x to the third plus 8, x to the second minus 7x plus 5, and then bring down the monomial, negative 3, a to the second, x to the third, because I'm going to multiply this monomial times each one of the terms in the polynomial. First, multiply the signs. Negative times positive equals to negative. Multiply the coefficients. 3 times 1 equals to 3. And then multiply a to the second, x to the third times x to the fourth. The x, this one has a 3 as exponent, this one has a 4. So remember, in the multiplication, we multiply the coefficients, but you do not multiply the exponents. You add them or subtract them depending on the signs. The 3 has a 2 positive, the 4 is also positive. So what I'm doing is I'm adding positive 3 plus 4, which is 7. So x will be to the 7th, and then there's no a right there, so I'll just bring down the a to the second power. I already got my first term. Then I multiply the monomial times the second terms. I'm multiplying the signs first. What signs? This negative times a negative equals to positive. Multiply the coefficients. 3 times 6 equals to 18. A to the second, x to the third times x to the third. This is the x to the third, x to the third. 3 plus 3 equals 6. So it's 18x to the 6. And then again, I'll just bring down the a to the second, because there's no a's here. I'll just bring it down. Third term multiplies the monomial times the third term. Multiply the signs. Negative times positive equals to negative. 3 times 8 equals to 24. And then take the x's. X to the third times x to the second. I said times. Yeah, but we know that we add the exponents. So this is 3 plus 2 equals to 5. So x is to the 5th power. And again, bring down the a to the second power. Next, I'm multiplying the monomial times the negative 7x. Multiply the signs first. Negative times negative equals to positive. Multiply the coefficients. 3 times 7 equals to 21. And then a to the second, x to the third times x. The x has a 3, the x has a 1. Both exponents are positive. I add them. 3 plus 1 is 4. So this would be x to the fourth. And again, just bring down the a to the second power. For last, I'm multiplying the monomial times the last term, which is negative times positive equals to negative. Put it out here. Multiply the coefficients. 3 times 5 equals to 15. and then there's no variables here, so I just multiply the coefficients and now bring down the a to the second x to the third power. Since I started writing the x first, you see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the, instead of a to the second x to the third, I'm going to write x to the third a to the second, because there's no difference. Remember that the multiplication is commutative. I said multiplication because x to the third a to the second means x to the third times a to the second. So it does not matter the order. This is the result for the multiplication of this polynomial times a monomial, or this monomial times a polynomial. And if you think this was a useful class, feel free to subscribe and activate the bell in order to receive all the notifications. Also, if you have a specific topic of your interest, put it down in your comments. See you next time.